Guys, we are back. Welcome back to Formula for Speed. I'm your host, Chad.
Chadworth. Chadwick.
I'm here with my enthusiastic, lovely, nickname having co-host. Please introduce yourself.
Hello.
The Babyface. One and only. Babyface, we're here again.
Yes.
Second week at the Red Bull Ring, guys.
Yes.
Second week in a row. Babyface, I want to start off by saying it was a little drama in qualifying.
Yes.
Vettel and Alonso. Guys, I've seen a lot of mixed messages on qualifying with the incident with Vettel and Alonso. So what happened was Alonso was on he was trying to get through his lap, right? He was trying to get to Q3. That's what he was trying to get through. Mm-hmm. And Vettel's engineer told him he was all clear.
Yeah.
And so if your engineer says you're all clear, people are saying he should have looked in the mirrors. I believe it would have been a blind spot regardless. If somebody's coming out fast, you can't. That's why you rely on your engineers to tell you you're all clear. For that reason, there's blind spots. He wasn't all clear. Alonso was coming up, and it messed up his lap. It messed up Alonso's lap. And because of that, Alonso qualified 14th. Vettel still was in 8th, but he wouldn't even go for more. I think he could have eked a little more out of there. But it messed up Alonso. So it was drama there. But other than that, the normal, I wasn't surprised with qualifying. And I told Babyface, last race at the Red Bull Ring, the two Mercs, 4th and 5th, starting.
Yes.
But guess who was starting second on the grid?
Who was?
Babyface! Lando! A McLaren! Did you see that, Babyface? Did you see... Guys, did you see it?
I saw it. Now that you mentioned that, you called out certain things during qualifying that you wanted to address.
What are those, Babyface?
The gaps in certain teams.
Yeah.
Raikkonen 16th, Giovinazzi 7th. I'll remind you, there was 4 of them in total. Ocon 17th, Alonso 3rd at one point.
Yeah.
When he was running through. That's not how he ended up qualifying.
Because of what happened with Vettel. He had pace in that car.
Danny Rick 15th, Norris 2nd, Russell 12th, and Latifi 18th. I believe you wanted to address some of the gaps, sir.
So Danny Rick ended up 13th, I believe.
Yes, you were just calling these out during Q1.
During Q1, yeah. I believe, for me, guys, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, this track is rough. And I believe, I've come to the understanding, of course, that when I see gaps like this, some drivers run it way better on this course than others. Babyface, Lando, he does well on this course. Danny Rick struggled. You know who else struggled on this course? And I'm surprised was running 4th. Hamilton's another one. Notable driver struggling. Now, Verstappen kills it. To me, this is his course. Hands down, congrats to Red Bull once again in Verstappen. He's on pole.
Yeah.
He's on pole. Perez, 3rd.
He qualified 3rd for the race.
Red Bull they're in rare form.
And now Q2, Giovinazzi, Alonso, Leclerc, Sainz, and Danny Rick all got eliminated.
Yeah.
Who made it into Q3?
Hey man, George Russell, man. George Russell. I was happy to see it. He is doing things with that car. And that's why I say when I see him do things with this car, to me, guys, I'm going to boldly say it, he's up there. If you put him in the same car, he's up there with Max. He's up there with Lando.
Hands
if
down.
you put him in the car. I've watched this dude do things with this Williams. I challenge anyone to do. To get through with that Williams car, it's tough. One of my favorite young drivers on the grid. I would love to have him at McLaren in the future, if we could get him in the future. But yeah, he made it to Q3.
He did.
So I was happy to see. And I was hoping points for Williams. I was hoping this race points for Williams. But yeah, Babyface, let's get to the race. I mean, or did you have more on qualifying?
No, just the starting grid was, for anybody that missed it, Verstappen, Norris,
Yeah.
Perez, Hamilton, Bottas, Gasly. Again, Gasly is killing it this season.
Man, he's driving that car well.
A lot of people, well, I shouldn't say that, but, during the race, maybe not as much attention is given to Gasly because there's so much other things going on. But Gasly is doing phenomenally well.
He's the driver that needs, which AlphaTauri gives him, more. It feels like a more relaxed vibe on that team and an easier car to drive.
Yes.
Do I think he could drive a more difficult car? Yes. But I think as he's maturing more, you'll start to see more skill out of him.
Yes. And Tsunoda qualified right behind him in 7th.
He needed that.
Yes.
Tsunoda needed that. I believe that boosted his confidence. That'll help his confidence.
But we'll get to Tsunoda in a moment because he did a couple of things during the race that was just like...
Rookie mistakes. All right, I'll give it to him. Rookie mistakes.
Twice in a row, but never mind that.
Yeah,
Russell 8th, Stroll 9th, Sainz 10th. Out of the points, Vettel followed by Leclerc, Danny Rick and Alonso, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Ocon, Latifi, Schumi, and Mazepin.
Yeah.
So we get to the race.
Here we go.
Lap 1. All we got was lap 1 and a safety car was out. Because...
It's a rough track, man. It's a rough...
Ocon didn't make it past lap 1. He was a did not finish.
He was struggling bad on this track. He's been struggling.
But it also wasn't his fault because he was sandwiched in between Schumi and Giovinazzi. There was nowhere else for him to go.
Right.
And it was kind of like a freak accident because
it wasn't
that the contact,
the suspension
wasn't that hard. At least looking at the replay, the contact didn't look that hard.
That was weird.
And the front right wheel just literally bent into itself. And I mean, it was one of those like, wow, that's wild. But yeah, he was out. Lap 1. Out.
That was it was a freak accident to me.
It was.
But yeah, he was out nonetheless. Yeah.
In my opinion, but sadly, yellow flags come out, AA yellow flags.
Yeah. Safety
car comes out, so we restart lap 4. Now here is where you and I may probably have a heated reminder because you and I both disagreed with what we saw on the screen. Restart. Lap 4.
Yeah, you're going to have to bring it up, huh?
Perez Perez has a shuffle scuffle wheel to wheel for I think it was like 4th place second place with Norris, and Perez goes into the gravel because he was going out the outside. He goes on the radio as expected and goes, he pushed me off the ramp.
He didn't push him. He was going for the pass on the outside.
And he didn't want to let go. I thought it was a racing incident.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to just talk to it. I'm going to get off my chest. Guys, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. And I'm a McLaren fan, so you call me biased and that's fair. But when you look at that incident, Perez was not ahead. He was going for the pass aggressively on the outside, and he went into the gravel. He wasn't ahead. So if I'm Lando, why would I give up my racing line when this guy's coming and he's not ahead? That, to me, if you didn't go for that move, it wouldn't have happened. So to me, it was a racing incident. They come back and give him a 5-second penalty. I'm like, so the FIA is stating, and the drivers are like, we want to drive more. We want more wheel-to-wheel action. So when you give it or you got it, you're penalizing guys. And now, to me, he was not ahead of Lando. If he were ahead, I'd be like, But he wasn't. That was a ticky-tack penalty. And I was like, I don't know who...
I'm sorry, what now?
A ticky-tack penalty. That was ticky-tack. Nitpicking. Yeah. In the States, that was ticky-tack. Like a ticky-tack foul in the NBA. That was a ticky-tack nitpick call. Okay. One of those things where you're just like, come on, that's a racing incident. I don't know what McLaren did to somebody in the FIA, but they made somebody upset because that was BS to me. If you ask me, that was BS.
So, besides that, Hamilton and Bottas had a fantastic back and forth themselves. They were going, they had a little battle going where Hamilton overtakes Bottas back overtook Hamilton. I was excited.
The battle of the unbalanced cars.
But I am here for all the racing. Meanwhile, Perez, after he went down into the gravel, he ends up all the way in 11th.
Yep.
Giovinazzi, who got into the scuffle with Ocon that caused the DNF, went into the pit lane during the first lap. Apparently, he is something about crossing over the safety line, something. He gets a 5-second penalty.
He did.
which was blatantly, you could see it. He got a 5-second penalty.
I get that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but this was everybody gets a penalty race.
They were penalty happy this race. I mean, man.
Meanwhile, your second guy, Danny Rick, overtakes Vettel for 5th, lap 17.
Man, he was pushing. He had to. Because people like you are concerned about his performance, not McLaren. So he has to push, babyface.
Ah, okay, it's all my fault. So then, between lap 18 and 20, we find out Norris gets a 5-second penalty while he's in second.
That was his race. He could have. I don't even want to. Yeah, he could have.
We both called.
Yeah, that was his race.
Horse done for that one.
Yeah, that was as they say, hogwash. That was hogwash.
Meanwhile, lap
foolishness,
20,
man.
Hamilton overtakes Norris, and you particularly liked Hamilton's because they did scuffle, Hamilton and Norris.
A little bit of it, yeah. I liked it.
Hamilton made a comment on the radio about Norris that I'm sure you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, and I appreciated it because a lot of drivers in the middle of a race, he said, hey, Lando's a great driver. He shouted him out and said he's a good driver, which I appreciated. I was just hoping, I said, guys, don't touch wheels because you might both get a penalty. The way they're doing it today, I was just happy they didn't touch. I was so frustrated at that point with this stuff. I'm like, but I was happy at the compliment nonetheless. I said, yeah, I appreciated it. It was good.
I will admit, I this scuffle that he had with Hamilton made me view Lando Norris as a much more mature driver than I had originally credited him with. I knew he was very talented. I knew he was very good. But I hadn't quite seen him in action up front like that with other drivers that I admire and respect. So when I saw him have that scuffle, I now view him as a much more ahead of his years in his driving style. Because if you remember, Verstappen, very young, tremendous talent, but he had several mistakes trying to mature as a driver. Leclerc has a couple that, as he matures as a driver, Yuki Tsunoda, you see that from the rookies. They come into Formula One. A couple of them need to fine-tune. Albon was one of those, a bit too over-aggressive, but they're all talented drivers. Lando, though, has a maturity that, in my opinion, as a driver, is beyond his years.
I feel like guys like Lando, Russell, those British drivers are so deep in talent. Sometimes I feel like guys forget or don't notice because Hamilton's still there. But yeah, man, I liked it. They didn't touch. Go racing.
Yeah.
Kind of what you get from Hamilton and Max. They don't touch.
Yes.
When they go at it, they don't touch. Good driving.
Meanwhile, Yuki got a 5-second penalty.
That entry lane to the pit lane thing. Yeah. It happened. It happened. I just he's been there before at this track. So one of the commentators, I believe, it wasn't Croft. Was it Karun that said he should know better. I'm paraphrasing, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. He should know better because he's driven this track before. But it happens.
Lap 31, Norris pits and he serves his 5-second penalty. Bottas pits at the same time, and because Norris served his 5-second penalty, when they come out of the pit lane, Bottas jumped him.
Man, baby, guys, she'll tell you, when I'm watching this race, it ruined it for me. Because I'm like, there goes his second place on the podium because of this ticky-tack stuff they called, whatever.
Now, this is the bit where you lost your entire mind. Lap 41. Perez, who pitted a couple of laps before, he has a little scuffle and tangle with Leclerc.
Mm-hmm.
Leclerc goes into the gravel. Perez, flat out,
Leclerc was clearly ahead, too. He was clearly ahead of Perez.
Perez, to make everything fair,
they gave him...
got a 5-second penalty.
Perez got a penalty, yeah.
Except for 6 laps later, in lap 47, we have the exact same situation again. Perez has a little tangle with Leclerc and flat out pushes Leclerc back into the gravel, for which he did not get a penalty. This was now a racing incident.
The first one should have been a racing incident. So now they want to be gracious, right? So you take away a guy's podium spot, but come on, man. I'm just like, Perez was aggressive because he was trying to... What Leclerc was doing last week, Perez was doing this week. Little aggressive, trying to make his way back to the pack to get up to the front. I get it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, lap 54, Norris overtakes Hamilton, which I'm sure you were very geeked about. Because,
I was.
Hamilton picked up some damage while he...
Turn 10.
Yes, because the curbs, as you've stated over and over again, this track, if you don't stay within on the track limits, you're going to ruin your car.
The problem is, with Hamilton, and when I was noticing that, he was trying so hard to make some kind of headway, and the car doesn't have it. So what he's doing is pushing the limit, and it happens.
Then, after Norris overtook Hamilton, because Hamilton just his car.
Yeah.
I think someone said that he ended up losing something about 30 seconds.
Like a half
overall.
a second over each lap. Yeah, he was getting caught.
Meanwhile,
and they let Bottas pass. Was that the lap they told the driver told the drivers to switch because Hamilton just didn't have a...
Yeah. So then you were sweating, sad, and heartbroken all at the same time because Russell was holding off Alonso for 10.
Man, I thought Russell was going to get some points, man. He tried. He was defending.
He tried.
Alonso had DRS, and when I realized he was that close, I said he
Lap 68, Alonso made it to the points and
he was
relegated
so close.
Russell to 11th.
So close. I think everybody was kind of like,
that was
I just knew. I was hoping.
But the way he's going, inevitably, he's going to score points for Williams at some point.
He wants that Merc seat. He wants that second seat, which Merc, your team said they're going to decide this summer, so we're going to talk about that later, and let's talk about a video.
Lap 71. Sainz caught... Do you remember?
Guys, she enjoys this sometimes. Sainz caught our McLaren fans, our beloved Danny Rick.
Okay.
He caught him for 6th. And mind you, Danny Rick did well because he made up 6 places from starting 13th on the grid. He made up 6 places, babyface. And yes, he was caught. He was caught, babyface, by Carlos Sainz.
Yes, he was.
Since you had to remind me of that. Oh. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, babyface has repeatedly, guys, shown her concern for Danny Rick and his performance compared to Lando. My only piece I have about this is it is his first year in this car and he's doing solid enough. Because when he starts behind on the grid, there are races where he will make up. You can look at it 2 ways. He didn't do as well as Norris, or you can look at it like me. He started 13th and finished 7th.
Okay.
Is that not good, babyface? Guys, let me know in the comments. Fair enough, because I have a bias because I'm a McLaren fan. Would you consider that a solid performance if a guy starts 13th and finishes 7th?
That's solid.
Would you?
That's solid.
See.
No, you know what I am here for?
You know.
You know what I am here for? I'll have you know, sir.
The gift.
You know. Listen, I'll have you know. I should have bet you. You told me. And I actually was inclined to believe you because Mercedes does not have the best car this season. They don't do well. It's not balanced. But you said...
Yeah.
A Mercedes was not going to end up on the podium. And I'll have you know, sir, even without the 5-second penalty, had Norris been second, a Mercedes was going to be on that podium.
Let me be honest with you.
Mercedes is on that podium, sir.
For the first time in years, Mercedes can thank the FIA for a second place podium. Because that bogusness, I don't know what happened.
At least, even had Norris.
Was it because we joked Bottas for spinning out in the pits? Is that why they got us like this?
Because
jokes got us in trouble?
Even if Norris didn't get the penalty and would have finished second, a Mercedes was going to be on the podium.
Well, I'm looking at my notes, babyface, on this foot.
My guys showed up, even though Hamilton with a messed up back
situation. He still finished 4th, yeah.
He finished 4th. A Mercedes was going to be on the podium. Take that.
Guys, I got to be honest. I didn't have a Merc on the podium. I had Verstappen, Perez, Norris. And somehow Christmas came early for Bottas, so he got second. Christmas came early.
Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. Because he was gifted that second place podium. And guys, I'm going to tell you, this race was frustrating for me because I looked at that ticky-tack penalty took away Lando's second place finish. And in the constructors, we're battling with Ferrari right now. We needed them extra points. I was not happy about that, babyface, because we're in the constructors. Let's look. In the constructors overall,
Let's look.
we got them 141 and they got 122. I wanted those extra points. I did.
Okay.
Because I felt like I said, oh, this is a plot against us. The world is against McLaren.
Nobody's plotting against
Because Bottas spun out and our engineers had a little jokes and roastage.
What?
We had a 5-second penalty given to us.
You are so ridiculous right now.
We joked Bottas a little bit. So I guess to say, you know what?
Everybody joked Bottas. I joked Bottas.
But McLaren, our guys helped him. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you.
Are you suggesting Mercedes can't take a joke?
No, it wasn't their fault. What I'm saying is, I'll say this. Shout out to Red Bull and Max. But even Horner said that was a racing incident.
I agree.
That was a race.
I agree.
And for the FIA to nitpick, and ticky-tack foul. I mean, it was like a ticky-tack call on Norris, man. That was, guys, you all know it. You've seen it. Like, that was, I've seen worse. And not get called.
Yeah.
5-second penalty. Not a warning. Couldn't get a warning. We couldn't get a warning and say, hey, you do it again. But he didn't do anything to me. So, shout out to Max. Another out front boring race for him. He was out there just having fun.
By himself.
Again, went to the concession stand, got some food, and came back and still won the race.
You know what? Max is used to running in the middle of nowhere by himself.
He did it last year, to be honest, when he was running in second. At times he was running in second or third.
He was reminding people to drink water.
He was joking to drink water because he was by himself. So again, shout out to Red Bull. They're flawless so far to this point.
Who else can take a good joke?
Who?
Gunther Steiner.
Gunther got they call him Mazepin, them guys. I'm just telling them what they call him. He got him a spin top. He's one of the funnest guys, if not the funnest team pit boss on the grid.
Imagine him and Danny Rick working together.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be funny. Yeah, babyface. Yeah. So, McLaren fans, I feel for you. I felt like we got robbed this race. We were robbed out of a second place podium. I got a beef with the FIA, and I'm gonna hashtag them. Formula for Speed's Instagram. I'm hashtagging them. Guys, you guys clearly had a gripe with us that weekend, because if you look at the footage, I don't believe he was ahead, and he wasn't ahead far enough to the point he deserved to get a 5-second penalty. So
what do you expect for the British Grand Prix, Silverstone?
I think Merck's gonna come out swinging. They got
so?
Yeah, they're gonna come out swinging.
I
think they are. They're gonna come out swinging.
I'm hopeful,
because they get 2 weeks to figure out something. I think McLaren's gonna do well again.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I wouldn't be mad at a McLaren Mercedes podium.
I think Danny Rick comes out swinging.
He needs to.
And shout out to Giovinazzi. I don't see a lot of people talking about him, but Giovinazzi is he's getting better every week.
He is.
I think he's gonna give a strong performance. I think if Williams can keep it up and they can bring it in, hopefully Russell gets some points. I think Alonso has a strong performance.
Williams and Russell will lose their entire minds if he wins some podiums
in England.
Silverstone.
If he can get some points, I think they will lose their mind. I think Alpine has a strong performance.
Yeah.
I think Aston Martin has a strong performance. And
that's almost the whole grid.
I think a lot of people, because this is the race you want to bring it. It's kind of like Suzuka, Monaco. This is one of these marquee races.
Yeah.
I think the fans are going to come out crazy in Silverstone. This is England
because they missed last year.
This is. They say this is the race. One of them. So I think Hamilton wants a strong performance. I think he comes out swinging.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Verstappen. I think Red Bull is going to come strong like they've been. I think we're going to hopefully see a lot more. I want to see a lot more Lando, Hamilton, and Verstappen going at it with Perez in the mix.
I like it.
And I want to throw Valtteri in there. Throw
Danny Rick if he can get his nose up there.
If Danny Rick can get up there close to the front at the beginning, I think we see the late breaking, phenomenal Danny Rick at the front. So us, Red Bull, Merck, all in the front battling it out. I think that's what I want to see. And I'm going to be honest with you. Guys, I was happy to see it. it's good to see another team bringing it. It's good to see another. So shout out to Red Bull. They're killing it. And I want to see it. I hate to tell you this. I think Ferrari is going to do well I predict Ferrari does well in England. I know you don't want to hear it. Babyface is not a Ferrari fan. Babyface, I think they do well.
Good for them.
Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Let us know your thoughts, your comments. Who did you guys have on the grid in qualifying? Where did you have them? Who did you have in the race? I didn't have Merck finishing on the podium. So we're going to take some time to think about who we take for Silverstone. But guys, again, thanks for tuning in. Formula for Speed is our Instagram. And let us know your thoughts again. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in Silverstone.
Bye-bye.
Guys, see you later.